welcome everybody to a Universal Balance production. This is a Travelling for Balance edition. We're here at the lovely Junibel Miniatures farm stay. We've been here for a couple of days now. They've got so much farm life to show you guys. Chickens, miniature horses, cows, goats. Just beautiful here. So I'm going to run you guys through a spine health video today. Just a nice little flow, some gentler movements today. So not really a strong practice, but just something to really loosen you up and to look after your spine. So here we go. So we're going to start by your comfortable seat. So that can be like I'm sitting on your knees. You can sit cross-legged, but I do recommend a block can help you just pop your bottom up a little bit more so your knees are lower than your hips. So I'm going to sit on a block here. Just pop that in between. Beautiful. So here we're going to get started now. So what we're going to do to start with is just some nice gentle breaths just to ground yourself into your practice. So closing down the eyes, sitting up nice and straight, just pulling your shoulders back, dropping them down. Just imagine there is a piece of string just tied to the crown of your head, and it's just slowly and gently pulling you up, lifting, expanding through the ribs, lengthening through each and every vertebrae of the spine, and just tucking your chin that little bit just to feel that lengthening in the back of your neck. And just taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just continuing that breath now, in through the nose and out through the nose. So bring that focus in. We're going to bring it into a square breath or a box breath. So all sides are equal here. We're going to inhale for 3, pause for 3, exhale for 3, inhale for 3. So just exhaling, pausing, 1, 2, 3, inhaling, 1, 2, 3, pausing at the top, 1, 2, 3, exhaling, 1, 2, 3, pausing, 1, 2, 3, inhaling, 1, 2, 3, continuing that breath. Eyes closed, really centering yourself. Just focusing on that count and just imagining your breath moving around an imaginary square. So a couple more rounds here. So on your next exhale, just fluttering your eyes open. So we're going to come into some functional neck rotations. Really good for your C1 joint here, which is at the top of your cervical spine. So it's an orbital joint, so it should be moving in every direction. Okay, so from here, eyes open or closed, we're just going to tuck that chin down towards the chest. And then moving in a clockwise position, we're going to come around all the way up to 12 o'clock. So we're going to bring the chin towards the shoulder, almost grazing the chest and the shoulder. Imagine we're drawing a nice big circle with that chin all the way up to 12 o'clock. Rotating around the other side, chin coming down towards the shoulder and chest. So linking the breath in now, inhaling up, exhaling down. So just trying to be a little smoother, a little bit more flowy here with this breath and this movement. Noticing any tension here in your neck. Maybe you can move a little bit quicker. So one movement is an inhale, one big circle, exhaling for the second circle. So all the way back down to the bottom. So coming back, imagining a clock here, so we're back at 6 o'clock. So we're going to move back the other way anti-clockwise here. So bringing that chin towards the chest and shoulder. Nice big circle with that chin. All the way up to 12 o'clock, all the way down back to 6. So linking the breath now, inhaling up. Exhaling around and down. You're just slowly progressing towards moving a little bit more flowy here, a little bit more speed. Inhaling one way, all the way up around to the bottom. Exhaling for your second breath if you can. So all the way back to 6 o'clock. So we're going to go now one way then the other. So all the way up clockwise, all the way around 12 back to 6. Then the other direction. All the way around 12 o'clock back to 6. Back the other way. Coming back down to that 6 o'clock, just hanging your head. So we're going to interlace our fingers and gently place them on the back of our head here. And just using the weight of the hands just to slowly pull that head forwards. If this is a bit much, just hanging that head forwards is fine. Using gravity and the weight of your head just to pull down on your neck ever so gently. So coming up. So very simply now, we're just going to do some yeses and some nos. So what we're going to do is chin nice and straight. Just bring it to the chest. And then back up. But this is a nice big yes. So saying yes to all those good things in life. Maybe the things you need more of. Good sleep, healthy food. Some more fun and laughter in your life. One more time all the way up. And then coming down. So bring that chin back to that neutral position. And now just simply some no's. So bring that head moving towards your left. So keeping your shoulders facing forwards, bring that head as far as you can. And then just back the other way. So maybe now you can think of a few things that you should say no to in life. Maybe it's that extra overtime shift at work, or your boss asking you to stay back late. Maybe it's your kids nagging and whinging you. Or maybe it's just something simply that you know that's not good for you. So bring your chin back to center. So we're going to come now onto all fours, so into a tabletop position. So taking our block out from underneath our bottom here, hands shoulder width apart. They're underneath our shoulders, knees are underneath our hips. So now we're just going to move through the spine simply in some cat-cows. So from here I'm going to start by inhaling, dropping belly button down, head comes up. So we're coming into our cow position. Exhaling, we're going to tuck that chin, rounding through the spine, so into our cat. So you can think of here a cat when it gets scared or confronted, it really brings its back up. On your next inhale, coming down, cow. So nice low back, just like a cow. Good. Following that breath, exhaling, we come up, suck that belly button in. Inhale down. So just a couple more rounds here. Moving through that spine. You can go slower or quicker. So now we're going to wag our tail like a dog here. So we're going to lift our feet. Good. So head goes the same way as the feet. So I'm bringing my head. If I was to look back, I could see my feet here just past my shoulder. But I'm just going to keep my head facing forwards. But I'm still going to bring that ear towards the shoulder. And I'm just going to wag my tail. So I'm just moving through the spine. Bring a bit of side bend into the spine here. Really let the head go. Beautiful. So just coming now down into a child's pose. Arms are going to be out in front for this one here to stretch through the shoulders, and the upper back. So reaching out nice and far. If you need a block here, we can pop a block underneath our head. So a nice big stretch. So I'm going to look in between my hands and just creep my fingers a little bit further forwards, an inch or two, pressing the palms into the mat and really stretching through that back, chest, shoulders, through the rib cage as well. Taking some nice big deep breaths. Good, so slowly working our way back up. So now we're just going to thread the needle. So we're going to take this left arm and thread it underneath, just simply reaching it through. Once again, we can pop a block under our head if we need. So I'm going to look towards the direction that left hand's going. Reach that right hand forwards. So looking underneath the arm. I usually joke this is like I'm looking for my TV remote underneath the couch. So I'm really stretching and reaching, pushing down gently. So I'm bringing my shoulder blades apart here. Just warming up through the middle back. And simply just swapping directions. So I'm going to stay here to face you guys, but I want you just to push up nice and slow. And then thread that right hand underneath. Once we hear nice big breaths. Now if you want a little bit more, we can bring the forehead towards the mat. That's going to stretch a little bit more through the shoulder. Good, so slowly pushing up. So we're going to come into a bit of a gentle flow here. Now remember, your block is really important if you need some help. It's a little bit like having crutches, just something else to help us when we need, if we need a bit more balance or a bit more height. So we're going to start here in our child's pose, nice and long, hands out in front, pushing our bottom back towards our heels. Good, so take a nice big inhale. So it's just going to be nice slow breathing here. I'm not going to really link it into the movements like a vinyasa. So more of a hatha, just following that breath. Good, so coming up nice and slow. All the way over onto our hands. Remember, a gentler flow today. Coming down nice and slow. Good, so from here we're going to come into a locust. So what we're going to do is drive our hips in. So like a cobra, peeling chest off. Hands are going to come behind. Pointing my toes. And I'm driving up with the shoulders. Pushing my hips into the mat and peeling those ribs off. Now we can start lifting the feet. Just remember being gentle on your lower back here. I'm lifting my thighs. I can lift my hands. Good, so I'm going to bring those hands back underneath. Toes down, pushing up. Good, so I'm going to bring my right leg through. So very simply, remember, if you need your block, it does help here. I'm going to push up, right leg comes through. So from here, I'm going to inhale up, reaching hands up nice and high. From here, we're going to bring our hands inside our legs. So we can move that right leg out a little bit, hands inside. Now, fingertips or block. Here we go. So pressing my left hand onto the block. I like to make it a little bit higher for this one. I always think you need a little bit more height when we're twisting. That way it gives us spine more length. So from here, I'm going to inhale up, reaching that right arm up. Reaching nice and high. I'm just going to bind that right arm behind the back, so I'm bringing it around, peeling that shoulder, and I'm looking behind me. Breathing nice and slow and deep. Good, so bring that arm up nice and slow. Back down to the earth. Inhaling up again. Good, so we're going to place that left hand on that right thigh. Once again, binding that right arm behind and opening up. So I'm trying to bring my chest towards the camera. So if I draw a line between my shoulders, it now should be almost dissecting the mat, straight down the middle. And I'm going to look behind, just for that little bit extra here. Good, so inhaling, hands back to the mat. So either side of that front leg now, so you can walk that right leg in. I'm going to step that back leg to the front of the mat. Good, so I'm going to face you guys for this. So staying down forward fold here. Just letting yourself hang, bending your legs, stretching out your hamstrings, belly onto our thighs. And just letting yourself fold forwards. So if I turn to the side so everybody at home can see, belly's on thighs, a bit of a bend here. I'm just letting myself hang, a little bit of a bounce. So from here we're going to come into a twist here. So I'm going to bring my left hand onto the right knee. And I'm going to try and slide it across so my elbow is on the outside here. I'm going to take that right arm behind. And I'm going to open up the shoulder and look behind me here. So this is where that right leg becomes straighter, left leg is bent. We might be able to straighten it out all the way. So stretching also through the hip here, all the way ITB, all the way from the hip down to the outside of the knee. And releasing and folding forward. So both legs, little bend here. Good, so we're going to twist the other way now. I'm going to twist towards my left. So I'm going to take that right arm across, straightening out that left leg, bending that right leg, binding left arm behind, and I'm looking behind me. Opening up and stretching. Remember, breathing nice and slow. I usually hold for 3 to 5 breaths here in my hatha practice. To remember your breath, your choice. The slower you breathe, the less breath you'll get in. That's fine. Good, releasing forwards. So I'm turning to face you guys again. So we can inhale all the way up. And so from here, my left hand's going to come forwards, right hand's going to go behind me. Hips are trying to stay forwards. And I'm opening up again through the middle back. So when we use our middle back, our thoracic spine, this is a part of our spine that we use to twist. So we're loosening up through the shoulder blades here as well. Inhaling up. Right hand forwards, left hand behind. So I'm looking over this front hand, but my chest and shoulders are facing towards the side. Inhaling up. And folding forward. So when we fold forwards, we're using our lumbar spine, which is our lower back. This is the function of our lower back, is flexion and extension. So folding forwards, folding backwards. Middle back is to twist, and our neck is to move in all directions. Beautiful. So we're going to come back down to the mat. So I'm going to face the other way this time, coming down nice and slow into our child's pose, nice and long. So a nice big stretch through the back, through the spine. Remember, we're trying to elongate everything here. So lengthening it out. Good, so from here, coming over into a plank on our knees. Lowering down nice and slow. Good, hands come behind. And opening up here into our locust. So arms behind, pointing our toes, beginning to lift our feet if we can, but lift our knees, our thighs, a little bit like we're floating. Remember, 3 to 5 breaths, breathing nice and deep, nice and slow. Good, so I'm going to bring my hands back and setting them in. Good, pushing up. I'm going to bring my left leg forwards now. So remember, using this block if we need here. Left leg comes forwards. Inhaling up. Wiggling that left leg out, exhaling, hands down. Hand onto our block if we need, adjusting your height. And inhaling that left hand up. Binding it behind the back. Looking past that shoulder behind you. Enjoying that breath. If you're outside, maybe enjoying the sun on your face, a lovely breeze like I've got at the moment. Good, inhaling up, hands back down. Inhaling up and we're twisting. Inhaling up, right hand to the outside of this left leg, left hand behind, making some length here. And once again, twisting. Really tuning into that breath. Inhaling up, wiggling that leg in. We're coming back to standing, so bringing that back leg to the front of the mat. Forward fold here, just letting that belly rest on thighs again. And we're going to twist, so we can twist like we did before, taking that right hand onto the outside of the left leg. Or we can bring our palms together, half weight lift. And now we're going to twist. So if I show from the side here, I'm going to bring that right elbow to the outside of the left leg. Hands to my heart space. And now I'm really twisting, looking past my hands. Left leg straightening. Good, releasing to the mat. And now to the other direction here. The hands to heart space, left arm on the outside of the right leg, and twisting. So remember, we can just have that left arm on the outside of the right leg and just binding the arm behind the back, opening up through the chest, twisting through the thoracic spine here. Good, releasing back down, inhaling all the way up. Good. So we're going to go right hand forward, left hand behind. Opening up. Good. Inhaling back up. Nice big inhale, stretching through the ribs, all the way up. Pushing our feet, all four corners of the feet firmly into the mat, reaching nice and high. Exhaling. So we do a couple more of these, so inhaling up. Nice and tall, like we're reaching. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. All the way down. So we're coming back onto our bottom here, onto our block. Good. So you don't need a block, you can sit here on the mat if you like. I always like to start with a bit more height and then we can drop as we go. So from here we're going to place our left leg in front, right leg over the top. And once again another twist here. So sitting up nice and straight, hugging that knee in, taking the left hand to the outside of the right leg, right hand behind, and opening up and twisting. So we're looking over our shoulder. Good, coming back to center. So we're just simply swapping sides here. Right leg goes out in front, left leg over the top, left leg behind. Right hand over the outside of that left leg, sitting up nice and straight, and then twisting. So remember, always lengthening through the spine so that we can twist. Straight spine means that we can twist Twisting with a bent spine is not a good idea. And when we create more range through our thoracic spine, so the middle of our back, our lumbar spine down near the hips don't have to do as much twisting. Remember, lumbar spine is for flexing forwards and backwards, not twisting. So quite often that's where we hurt ourselves, is because there's not enough rotation here in the middle of the spine. Good releasing, coming back to center. So simply here, feet together, and we're just folding forwards. So wiggling our feet forwards a little bit if you need here, and just folding forwards. We can have hands underneath our feet. Remember, we can take this block out if you need. And just really exhaling, letting go as we fold forwards. Great time to really follow the breath and just see if we can keep focused on the mat. So just tuning in to our practice, not letting our mind wander to what we're doing after our practice today. Just really keeping our mind on the mat, just following that breath and just really noticing how each pose feels. Seeing if we can sink that little bit deeper. Good, so coming up nice and slow. So we're going to come here now into pigeon pose. So I'll turn sideways for everybody at home so that you can see. So really important here, there's lots of different ways to do this one. So I'm going to turn to the side, I'll pop my right leg forwards. So block is a really good way of doing this. So sitting yourself up, remember height will always help. So right leg's going to come in front. And with our left leg, to start with, option one, we're going to place inside of our left thigh on the inside of our right foot. And then we're going to try and fold forwards from here. So if you do find a full pigeon quite tricky, this is a good option here. And we're going to slowly work our way forwards. So just folding yourself down. So sometimes I like to start at the gentler options and then just moving into the stronger options. Just folding forwards. So option two here, once again, like I said, I like to always start with height. So I'll turn my block on the side. I'm going to take that left leg behind and this right leg in front. Now I'm going to try and keep it, if I can, at right angles here at the front. So I'm kind of going parallel to the front of my mat. I like to start up nice and high for this one. And as I go, I can lower. So I'm starting up nice and high. And I'm just slowly folding my belly towards the lower leg of this right leg. And then folding down. I've been doing lots of driving lately, so actually quite stiff here. And this is a great stretch for sciatica. So if you do get sciatica, this is something you want to do daily. Or obviously always consult your physician, but great stretch here. I had sciatica for a long time when I was younger, and I was simply given this stretch. You did it a few times a day, and within a month it was gone. So great one here, stretches out your piriformis, which is in your hip. But remember, trying to keep your hips level. So if you want here, you can go a little bit lower. So I'm trying to drop my chest evenly, so I'm not twisting to the side here. I'm keeping my shoulders level, folding over this front leg. So spine health is a funny one because everything is connected. So when we do break the body up into parts, you might find like as one thing improves down the chain, you realize that something else needs addressing. So it is best to try and hit every part of the body as much as you can. Sometimes you don't have the time. So if you are struggling with a tight, sore, stiff back, this will really help you guys at home. Remember, sometimes it is about one step at a time. So just getting into that routine of stretching and having a daily practice, even if it's 5, 10, 20 minutes, half an hour. Because we're simply going to swap sides. So I'm just going to come out of this. We don't have to come out of it too glamorous. Remember, it is a gentle practice this morning. Good, so remember, taking that now left leg in front, right leg, thigh to the inside of that foot, and just beginning to slowly fold forward. So this is option 1. So you should really feel that stretching around that left hip, outside, inside, just bowing forwards, chest and belly towards that lower leg of that left leg. Good, coming into option 2 if you like. Offering yourself some height here. Obviously as well, remembering you can comment on my videos and maybe ask me any questions if you have any issues, maybe for some options if you do have bad knees, bad hips, or any injuries that you've suffered in the past. Because let's be honest, we all have generally something going on in the body. We're not perfect. And when it comes to yoga, there's always an option. So the poses might not look the same, but there's always an option for you. So slowly folding forwards and just focusing on that breath here. Breathing nice and slow and evenly. We can even come back to that box breath if we lose focus. Remembering all sides are equal. Count of 3 for the inhale, for the pause, the exhale and the pause on the other side. So coming now into our Shavasana, so slowly pushing ourselves up. So I'm going to give you an option here to utilise the block. So blocks are really handy. So Shavasana should be a quite simple position, but it can be tricky for lots of people to lie flat on the floor. So we can have option 1, we can have legs bent, knees together. We can always pop block under our head just to tuck our chin a little bit. If you need to, you can sit or lie on your side. But I'm going to give you an option today just to place this block here behind your back. So we're placing it in the middle of our back here. If it's a bit strong for you, that's fine. You can remove the block. So just open up through our back and chest here. So I'm sitting it here, middle of my back. I might go a little bit higher. That's a little bit better. And I can come into Supta Baddha Konasana with the legs here, butterfly pose, soles of the feet together. So really opening the chest, opening the heart, just enjoying that breath. Taking some nice deep breaths here. So returning to that square breath, nice and deep, nice and slow. Just focusing on that alone and nothing else. If you need to at any time remove the block from behind your back, that's fine. And just really beginning to enjoy the moment. Knowing this is where you're meant to be, in the here, the now. And just letting yourself drift into your Shavasana. just going to remove this block from behind our back here. So just bending our legs. We can bridge up here onto our upper back, sliding off nice and slow. Just removing that block. Just coming back down, continuing our Shavasana here. We can interlace our hands onto our stomach. Feet back into Supta Baddha Konasana. Just enjoying how you feel. So just taking some nice big deep breaths now, nice big inhales, puffing that chest up, exhaling, pushing the lower back into the mat. Inhaling, exhaling. Good, so we're rolling onto our side, nice and slowly. Just for a moment here. And then we're going to work our way slowly up to a seated position, pushing up with our supporting arm. So coming back to your comfortable seat like you did at the start of the session today. So closing down the eyes, taking a nice big inhale, reaching up towards the sky, palms together as we exhale down towards our heart space. So 3 collective breaths here, nice big inhales, nice big exhales. Inhaling nice and deep and exhaling fully. One more. Nice and deep inhale. Nice and full on the exhale. So slowly fluttering our eyes open. And together we say Namaste. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. I hope it really sets you to have a lovely day, whether you're doing it in the morning or in the evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be putting another video out for you shortly.